Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Shintaro Higashi Show with Peter Yu. Today's going to be another solo episode. Me and Peter have not been coordinating, mostly because of me. I canceled on him a bunch of times. Some personal stuff came up. Small beef, but, it's fine. Like, in life, you're going to have problems, and you got to kind of take them head on, and you got to adjust and adapt and make yourself better. We evolve. And sometimes you're just going to butt heads when, things happen, etc., etc. Everything is fine. All right. So today on the episode, we're going to talk about traincations. This is a thing. This is a new theme that a lot of people are doing. There's a BJJ cruise. Fuji did it. A cruise where you go out on the ocean for 15 days with a bunch of champions. Food included, sleeping accommodations included. It stops in the Bahamas, this and that. I know Camp Vertex is happening in Texas. Travis Stevens is running that. You learn Judo, Jiu-Jitsu, and gun shooting, gun skills. And then you eat barbecue every single day. So, I know a guy that went to that. One of my friends was like, hey, did you hear about this thing that Travis is doing? And I was like, Travis, what is it that you're doing? He was like, oh, it's this camp thing that I'm doing. It's going to be great. It's going to be awesome. We'll eat meat and shoot guns and do Jiu-Jitsu. I'm like, should I send my friend to that? And he's like, yeah, send him. And I was like, yo, you should do it. I spoke to Travis and he said it's going to be awesome and it's going to be these things. And he went. So this is the thing. This is a theme now. And yes, there's big physical location things like the cruise that I mentioned in Camp Vertex in Texas, where they're on a 100-acre compound. Don't quote me on the acreage. I just made that part up. But it's a big compound, supposedly. And there's also traincations at local dojos. For instance, we had a guy, Ali. He came to New York for a 3-day trip and did 5 private lessons with me. He did 1 private lesson for an hour and then 2-hour session, 2-hour session. In the evening, he did the class. So he had 3 double session days where it was and it was awesome. And I got to talk to this guy. We had a lot of interaction. I got to learn about his martial arts style. He does a Korean Jiu-Jitsu type martial art called Tukong, and he's kind of the master head guy in that. And then he wanted to kind of refine his throwing, takedowns, and then systemize a lot of this stuff for his martial art, and wanted to see some of these drills that he saw me doing on YouTube. So I was able to kind of teach it to him in a very concentrated period of time. So he had a very, very information dense 3 days. And he did the night class, which was 2 hours long. And then he had 2 hours in the morning. So he was doing 4-hour days, 3 days a week. So it's like 6-7 hours of judo with me. I'm not going hard judo, of course. And then he did work out hard at night. But it's a very, very concentrated thing. And, I did this before, right? One time I went to a gym. It was a training camp. So it's not really a traincation. I think you got to distinguish training camp and traincation is a little bit different. Training camp is all right, national team is going to Canada and Montreal to Shidokan with Nicholas Gill and those guys. The entire national team from Canada is there. The entire national team from the U.S. is there. A couple of Japanese guys there peppered in there. And now all of a sudden you're doing 2 sessions a day. And this is 2 weeks long for the goal of competing at the World Championships in a few weeks. So that's a training camp. That's not what I'm talking about here. I'm talking about a traincation, where you seek out a guru and say, hey, I'm going to go to your gym every day. Can you do a morning class with me, a private lesson, and can I do an evening class with you? And then you schedule midweek. Can't do it on a weekend. Senseis are busy. They're doing seminars, they're competing, they're teaching, they're at a competition coaching, and you don't want to burn a 40-something-year-old sensei's weekend with their child. I take my kid to the pool. If you want to do a traincation Friday, Saturday, Sunday, I'm going to be like, no, I'm going to take Yumi to the pool, right? Today I'm taking her to the pool. You know what I mean? So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesdays, work week for us, work week for a majority of people. Taking those days off, coming to the local spot, doesn't have to be me, and dedicating those 3 days, midweek, classes are running. So you can do the classes, right? Do the classes, throw in a private lesson, and have some local cuisine. If you're coming to New York City, unbelievable food here. Seriously, the best food in the world. According to the Michelin guy, is France, Tokyo, Those are the top two. But New York City, man, you got the diversity. Pizza's great here. I always joke with my Italian friends, like, pizza in New York is better than in Italy. Like, we invented pizza. But like, no, seriously, like, it's a thing now, and I see more and more people reaching out to me about this Traincation. And I'm not trying to like shamelessly promote my Traincation package. There is no Traincation package, right? It's usually, hey, I want to do a private lesson with you. Great, this is my availability. Hey, can I schedule 2 or 3 in a row in this span? Will you be there Tuesday, Wednesdays, and Thursdays on this date range? And then kind of putting it together. And it really got me thinking, man, like, I would love to have done that. So it's like, now I'm thinking like, all right, I got to do that. Who do I want to train with? Maybe there's like, I would go to Japan, if anything. You know what I mean? I go to Japan. It would be content related because that's what I do, right? This is like content creation in the grappling space. But I really wouldn't mind like going out and working out with like Justin Flores or something like that. And, he trains Jiu-Jitsu with Keenan. So you get Jiu-Jitsu, Judo, obviously. No-gi Judo, because Justin is kind of at the forefront of that. And so, like, I would love to do that. You know what I mean? Yeah, so Traincation, it's kind of a new hot thing. And I did have an idea for myself as a product. And you guys are all sort of the first line people who kind of hear my ideas because you guys listen to the podcast and give me great feedback on the comments. It's a great source of me getting feedback from the community to see what you guys are interested in. So I'm going to give it to you guys first. It's like not really in the works yet. But I have an Airbnb in the mountains. It's on a 5-acre lot. It's gorgeous. Overlooking the Shawangunk Ridge, right? Which is like, actually it's Millbrook Ridge, but it's like the Shawangunk Mountains. Like Mohawk Preserve is up there. It's like a destination for rock climbers globally. So much rock climbing up there. So much nature, hiking, bikes, local cuisine, and like farm to table food. And it's just a really, very, really like rich in a nature kind of way, getaway from New York City people, because it's only 2 hours away from New York City. It's actually an hour and 45, right? So people drive up there. Leaf peeping season is huge. I have a big Airbnb there. It's like a 4-bedroom property house. It's big, it's, really wide. It has a dojo in the basement. I don't know if you guys seen my Instagram reels or stories where I'm like, oh, look at me building a dojo in the basement of my Airbnb. I'm thinking about doing a Traincation there. We have the rooms upstairs. There's 4 bedrooms upstairs, right? We could put 8 to 10 dudes in there, and we'll pick out an off-season day, right? Like winter. Or like midweek when the thing is not generally booked because there's an opportunity cost there, right? So Friday, Saturday, Sunday in a July, on any given weekend, the nightly rate is very high. So, and it's usually already booked. It's booked to the gills, right? But the Tuesday, the Thursday, the Monday to Wednesday, mid-October, those days are going to be empty because families aren't going on vacations. So I was going to kind of try to pick some of those days and get a group of guys to do judo downstairs or private lessons downstairs in like a pod, right? So it'll be like this rich thing. And then all of a sudden we'll give you breakfast. You go for a hike, you hang out. And then at night, there's jiu-jitsu schools in the region. And I was going to talk to those guys. And I actually walked in once and I was like, hey, what's up? I introduced myself. I'm like, oh yeah, hey, I know you, all this stuff. So I might kind of like talk to those guys and, take part in their nighttime training. So now all of a sudden, you get the mountains, you have the hot tub, you have the whole feel. Maybe you can even go rock climbing, do some privates. And then you also get to work out at night, like do a hard jiu-jitsu session at the jiu-jitsu school down the street. So, that's something that I kind of have an idea about. And that's something that I would love to take part in if that was available to me, So Traincation, yeah, I don't know how else would I explain it? But I've done a lot of these when I was younger too. It wasn't really a Traincation though. It was like, for instance, I went to Jason Morris's for like 3 days. It was like a Thursday, Friday, Saturday or something. You know what I mean? I did that. And then, Jimmy Pedro's, I lived up there for a year, but like I will go and visit every now and then, Mostly for like training camps though, so it's not really a traincation. Uh, but yeah, dipping into a dojo for an extended stay, 3 to 5 day range, where you're kind of booking an Airbnb or a hotel nearby, and your whole purpose for that trip is to kind of see the neighborhood, but also to get a lot of training in. So it's the best of both worlds, you know. And a lot of guys kind of go on vacation and bring their gi and dip into a training. Uh, but this is more like the reverse ratio. You know, the ratio usually is like 90% sightseeing, 10% grappling. This is the reverse. It's going to be like 80% grappling, you know, with the guy that you want to train with, and then 20% sightseeing. So if you're coming to New York City, it's like, oh, you know, I came in on Monday, I worked out with Shintaro, I'm going to go see the Empire State Building, go to Central Park, have a little New York pizza, which is better than pizza in Italy, and then I'm going to come back for the class at night. And we do a little judo, and because we did a session, you're prepped for that night class, and I'm teaching stuff that's going to help you because I already know what you're doing. And then you go to bed, and then Tuesday morning, we do the same thing, right? We get in the morning, how was your training last night? We're hanging out, we're training, and then do a little bit of a private lesson. And then all of a sudden, it's like, what are you going to do today? It's like, I think you should go see a Broadway show, right? It's like, have you seen Hamilton? Have you seen Book of Mormon? You know, yes, no, maybe. Like, I suggest it. Do you like musicals? No. Okay. All right, fine. Scratch that. You know, maybe you walk the Brooklyn Bridge. Very different now, right? All the vendors on the Brooklyn Bridge got kicked off recently in the last 6 months. They're like, get out. And then they enforced this thing, which is crazy because it used to be like this cesspool of vendors, and like they have this like rotating selfie taking, you know, thing that has that Jay-Z song, New York, and it's like non-stop with this bridge. But they made it a lot better. So you go see that, and you come back for training at night, and then I'll give you a couple of restaurant suggestions. What are your price tiers that you're looking for? Do you want to go low end, mid range, or high end? What kind of cuisine are you looking for? We have guys from the dojo who are restaurateurs. We do. And we also have guys who write in the food section of the New York Times at the dojo. We have one guy. He's amazing. He doesn't do judo, though. He does Jiu-Jitsu, Aikido, and the other martial arts. But you can talk to that guy and give you a suggestion. Now, that is a traincation. Because to me, when I go on vacation, it's nice. The first day is kind of nice. Like, yeah, it's relaxing. And I'm already sitting on the side like, I'm a little bit bored. I want to grapple. I want to work out. I want to be doing something. You know what I mean? And now that I don't drink, it's like a thing where it's like, I can't imagine myself going on a 7-day vacation and just hanging out. You know what I mean? Drinking mimosas on the beach or something. Like, I just can't imagine myself doing that anymore. You know? Before, I would go away and do what I usually do in New York, which is kind of just drink and get blitzed and be belligerent sometimes. But like, now that I don't drink, it's like, what am I going to do? Sightsee for 7 days straight? I think I need to do a staycation myself. Maybe not like in the judo realm because I'm, you know, pretty good at judo already. And jiu-jitsu too. I got JT Torres here, Marcus Johnson, I got like Brian Glick teaching me jiu-jitsu. It wouldn't be a jiu-jitsu staycation, traincation. Maybe wrestling. But this is the thing about wrestling. It's like there's not a lot of hobbyist gyms that are high level. There is none almost. You know what I mean? So maybe a wrestling YouTuber. Who is out there that's a wrestling YouTuber that I could kind of hang out and do a traincation with? That's my next thing, I think. We'll make content, we'll wrestle, I learn a new skill. I hope they're in a cool city. Probably not because I'm from New York and we're very arrogant about that. Everywhere outside of New York City sucks for New Yorkers. It really does. I'm really exposing the unlikable New Yorker side of me right now. You know, it's like Jimmy Peugeot guys are in Boston. I'm like, Boston, Jesus, Boston. Oh my God, the worst, right? That's how we are in New York. But yeah, that could be a traincation thing that I do next. And if you're interested in doing a traincation in New York, you let me know. Again, this whole episode became a shameless plug for myself. I'm very sorry, Peter. I hope you guys are able to derive some kind of value out of this episode. And that's why Peter is here. He's my co-host slash partner, because I'm just sitting here talking about myself and promoting my stuff, and it's probably coming off very abrasive to most people. We'll see if anyone's even listening at this point. But yeah, thanks to you guys. The podcast is doing phenomenal. Thank you very much to our sponsors, Jason, Lavon, and Joe. Greatly appreciate your unwavering support. Judo TV, discount code Shintaro. You get a nice discount. Place to watch the best IJF TV, IJF footage, international judo. Higashi brand also, that's my brand. We have new gi pants with pockets, gi shorts with pockets. Cleverly named Higashi shorts with ashi. Hig ashi. Ashi in quotes, which means legs. It's shorts, right? And because there's 7-inch seams, they're a little bit higher. They're not below the knee. They're above the knee. To show off your legs, your beautiful calves that you spent so hard training in grappling. That's why I named them Higashi shorts. They're out now, and they sponsor this podcast. So please go check it out, higashibrand.com. Yeah, thank you very much for listening. See you soon.